Welcome back to Ball Talk with me, Lewis Bryon, and today I'm joined by striker for St Albans, Ken Charles, and presenter Noah Jones. Boys, before we get into the episode, we've got something on our desks, haven't we, Noah?
It's a little gift, isn't it?
Yes.
This is a Mystery Football box. We love working with Mystery Football. I've got about 15 of their shirts, personally, and they've sent us some, and we're going to do an unboxing right now. Obviously, we've not opened these, so
Let's do it.
Should we get into it?
Praying for a nice.
It's like Christmas. This is my favourite thing to do.
It is a good concept, isn't it? Like just.
Yeah, you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
It's a beauty. Right, I'm in. Oh my word, that is out. I'm not even doing this for camera. That is naughty.
What have we got?
Look at that.
It has decent colour.
Denmark. Let me whip mine up for everyone.
Oh.
Denmark national team.
Oh, I'm having this.
What have you got there? Is it Spain?
It's Spain.
Oh, that's quality.
Oi, that is nice.
That is,
middle badge.
That is lovely.
Wow.
Wow.
Buzzing. What have I
What we got here?
Serie A.
Venezia.
Not bad.
Venice
liking
love a little fashion.
Some
fashion
solid
number.
options there.
Mate, these are good.
Should we put one?
Yeah, let's put them on.
Yeah.
And there we are. Don't we look alright?
Yeah, I'm having it, to be fair.
Because we can.
Yeah.
Why not? Thank you very much. As always, the Mystery Football. Get your own and look as good as us.
Yeah, lovely. Right, boys, let's get into the episode. We'll talk Arsenal's 1-1 draw away to Chelsea on Sunday. Okay, so I believe it was Martinelli and Neto got the goals.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, with Neto's goal, what did you make of Arsenal's defending? Because for me, it was very poor. Like, you could either say poor defending or good goal, but I don't know, which side are you on?
Bit of both.
Yeah.
I think there was a massive gap where Neto was when we talk about like going through the lines. He was in the middle of the lines and there was no one there. I think it's a bit of an oversight on the defensive midfielders and centre backs. Someone could have stepped up, but then again, it's a great finish, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes he's going to score a worldie.
Yeah, I'd say lack of concentration and communication, because he's obviously rolled into a pocket that he's obviously Timber's man, but he's found himself in a pocket. You don't necessarily want Timber running all the way into basically centre midfield picking him up. So it's just a little bit of communication that would have resolved it, but you can't take nothing away. Like, he's punished us for that slight bit of miscommunication. It's an unreal finish.
I think as well, when you've got players who are playing in the Premier League, if they all get that sort of time and space to have a touch with no one around them and a shot with no one around them, 9 times out of 10 they're going to produce something that's going to be close to a goal. The only time they'll then mess it up is when they've got pressure on their touch or pressure on their shot, and that's when you see it go wide of the goal or a little mistake. So it's not a shock to me to see that he's put it in the back of the net. I think, like you said, we had like 5 or 6 on our back line.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all it takes is just an early bit of communication to just shuffle across and someone step in. But
Yeah.
obviously frustrating. Martinelli got a goal. How do you think he did? Obviously there's questions over his form recently.
Yeah, I mean, good goal, obviously.
Very good goal,
I think keeper, Scott watches near post, but easier said than done. Martinelli's a weird one, man. I think he's got one move and it's put your head down and run and hope for the best. If not, he cuts back in and passes it back to midfield. I think that'll do well for his confidence massively and might help him going forward. So it's definitely one to watch. But he's very one-dimensional at the minute, and it is head down and run. And if it doesn't work, he's got nothing. Even with the goal, I thought he took too long on it.
Yeah.
But why is he not hitting that first time, second time? He's taken 3 or 4 touches. It obviously worked out. But yeah, I hope that builds him up because his confidence has been low. I just need more from him, man.
Yeah.
Just need more.
But Odegaard was back.
Oh,
He honestly makes such a difference.
thank God.
And he still was, in my opinion, he was still 80%. Like, first half, there was still times where he would have pressed normally, but they were getting sort of Havertz and Martinelli to do it. He was resting himself a bit.
One of his biggest strengths is his press, so he's an absolute machine, and he didn't really do it, yet still made such a difference, such an impact. The amount of creative play we had, rather than we've seen the heat maps from the last few games, just going around the box. Already he was making through balls, cutting passes, lofts to the back post. Mate, I know we didn't win, but for me it changed the game straight away, him coming back.
Yeah, it's a big positive. Like, I'd still say he was at 70%. Like, there was some of the bits, like maybe in pockets, receiving it on a half turn and stuff, where he perhaps wasn't as crisp as usual. But him at 70% is still one of the best attacking midfielders in the Premier League. And we saw that it changed us so much. He got the assist for the goal.
No one else in our team is going to do that assist.
No.
Yeah.
And then to produce a performance like that when you've been out for 6 weeks is commendable in itself. Like when I see him in a starting lineup, I'm thinking,
I was shocked.
I was surprised, but I was thinking, all right, he might give us a good 60.
Yeah.
He played 90 and
said
he was
that,
running
didn't we?
around for the whole game.
Crazy.
So
He was better in, like, I thought he'd get 45. Like,
Yeah,
I thought
exactly.
he was going to be knackered.
Yeah.
And then he was better in the second half.
So, like from a professionalism standpoint, he's obviously worked so hard to keep himself at a level where he can do that, because you can't underestimate what it takes to do that.
Yeah. And it actually helped Saka a lot. Like, his like combination play with Saka, their link up is so, it can't be matched, I don't think, right? By anyone else in the Arsenal team. Can't do that with Saka. And it just takes an extra body away from Saka.
Of course.
Or if Saka does have that body, it's another person to play to.
Yeah.
They link up so well.
Yeah, especially with the taking a body away from Saka. We spoke about it where we said we were looking at the front four a couple of weeks ago, and it's like, right,
It's crazy.
it's like Saka's the main threat, and if you can nullify him, if you can put 3 men on him, you've almost stopped our threat. But having Odegaard there brings an extra problem. If you triple up on Saka, Odegaard's just a couple of meters away in a pocket, and he's just as dangerous. So you need more of that. It comes back to the Martinelli debate. Having someone on the left who's not necessarily as prolific as Saka, but somewhere close where people have to be just as worried would help us massively.
I think you saw the Saka Odegaard partnership start again as well. I think Saka's had to do a lot of coming in to 3 players most of the time, double, tripled. Cucurella somehow got man of the match, which I thought was mental.
I know, it's Gary Neville.
That was mental.
I know.
He is a good 1v1 defender.
Yeah, no, he done well, but like
Saka still missed him.
He still did a few times,
He had to get a yellow card.
yeah, it was Gary Neville on the yeah.
But he also said Martinelli was one of the best players on the pitch, which I also thought was mental.
You know when you're like in an industry too long, or like you're so like you're too far into it, so you just need to take a back step and actually look at what you're seeing. He's too deep, so he's lost his train of thought, I think.
Cucurella man of the match was I don't think he had a bad game, but
he was all right, but he had a lot of help.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he did well, and he did as well as a lot of fullbacks would do against Saka, but with a lot of help. It was always 2v1, sometimes 3v1. Whenever he was 1v1, he either fouled or got twisted or whatever. So he was good, but man of the match is saying he had Saka in his pocket, and I wouldn't say that was the case.
No, that's Neville's old rivalry.
Yeah,
as soon as he said it, that's exactly what I thought of. Gary Neville, here we go.
But Cucurella as well, like he's one of them where he would put himself first in terms of making himself look good in, let's say, defending 1v1s against Saka. That might be a detriment to the team, if that makes sense. Sometimes you've got to just put the team first, I think.
He's such a rat. Did you see
him? He's a very dislikable person.
He ran up to the ref and was going, get him off.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I saw that.
How old are you, 12?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you like it, but you also, if it's for your team, you're like, yes, get in there. But, or you like the person. But we obviously...
I see why everyone hates Ben White and we love him, because it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it was a clear difference. Going back to Odegaard, it's a clear difference in our last 3-4 performances. It's a slightly better than we've seen in the last 2-3 weeks. So hopefully it trends in that direction, because we do need to win our next few games, don't we?
Yeah, but I think we will. Now he's back, and he will, unless
easier run as well
in training or anything. I think it will change the game for us.
We also can't underestimate Chelsea. Like, it's not the Chelsea of last season.
Yeah, no.
Like, as much as we needed a win, realistically, that was always going to be a really tough game, and to go there away and play like we did, like, there's positive signs to take, and hope that if they can get on a run now with the next few games. I don't think we should look at that as a 2 drop points. That's what I'm saying.
No, I think we should look at it as a couple of missed chances, though.
But they had some. They did as well. Yeah. Well, look, let's get on to them now.
Yeah.
Obviously, the one you're talking about is Trossard.
Yeah.
It was offside. It was offside.
So there's no point really.
Was it 100%?
It was offside.
Saliba was offside.
Go on. Tell me your thoughts on Trossard. That game.
I have always been such an
advocate. You was the biggest fan of him.
Mate, Trossard last season, the goal.
Yeah, he was.
I
don't know what's
I'm here now,
Fast.
Last season was exceptional. I know he's been played out, like, he's not an attacking mid, right? He's been playing an attacking mid support striker role, which is not what he does. But he wasn't very good, was he?
He wasn't. No, he wasn't. But like you said, you've got to remember, he was so used to having that same role week in, week out, come off and come on the wing, basically. Come on as a sub, play on the wing, make an impact, he'd score. Then he got shifted into a sort of a second striker, number 10, and sort of rotating in the middle.
Yeah.
And then he's been shifted back out to do the sub thing on the wing now.
Just for the first time.
For the first time. So he's changing your roles and your mindset and your approach to the game.
Yeah,
it's so
people
hard
don't
to
realise it's one of the hardest things as a footballer. When you have a lot of attributes, it can come to your detriment because managers see you as versatile, but then will use you in multiple positions and then judge you to what you produce in your second or third position. He's being judged based on what he's done trying to replicate Odegaard. That's not his position. But because he's good enough as a footballer, he can do a job there. But now everyone's looking at him as if, he hasn't been great the last few weeks. It's not his role. Jesus is exactly. When was the last time he played up front? Like it's so easy to look at that, but like obviously if you're in football, you kind of understand that it's hard, man. Like you're playing another position that you can do a job in. There are some players that can't do that. There are some footballers that are literally only built for one role, and therefore they might never find themselves in that position. Sometimes being versatile ends up being your own downfall. Yeah.
I can back it. It's just when I look back at last season, that finish at the end, bread and butter. He's putting that weight every single time.
I think misses happened though.
I don't think you could go just for that miss.
Yeah,
but
like obviously, had that have been onside, and he'd missed that, then obviously it's a huge miss at the end of a game. However, you can't say because he's missed that he's now a different player from last season. Like that you can miss a chance at any point.
Look at Haaland. Haaland's missing so many chances. He's always missed them chances, by the way. He missed them in the first year and the second year at City.
I think he's missing less this year than he has the last couple of years. But it's just because
City are doing worse. They're getting highlighted. He still scored 11 or 12.
The standards for him are ridiculous. He could be top scorer and it's not enough.
But what you just said about the positions, like obviously playing multiple positions being a downside sometimes. One of my pals who plays for Harrogate League 2, he's a striker. And every time he's had a run of games as a 9, he's scored. But what would happen, especially around that level, the left mid would be injured. There's no other left mid. They'll stick him out there, and he can do a job out there because he's very versatile on the left side. So then he plays 5-6 games there, doesn't score, and then it's like, right, we're going to keep that striker back, and then the left mid comes back and it gets in front of him.
Yeah, been in the exact same situation.
You play wing, don't you, as well?
It's the same thing of like they're playing you there because you're good enough. You can do a job for the team there. You're not actually just there. You can actually do a decent job for the team there. But you're not playing it necessarily like a natural winger or whatever position you're put in. But then the other person who's actually playing his natural position carries on getting all the... Like Martinelli starts left wing week in, week out.
Yeah.
He's played poor. But when he does get his turn of form or score a goal or whatever, he's now in a position where he's ahead of Trossard because Trossard's played out of position. So it's tough, but...
What did you make of Palmer in the game? Because...
Ghost.
That's what I mean, but
Ghost Palmer.
I see so many people jumping on it and jumping on him, saying he was poor against United, wasn't really there against Arsenal, and they're saying, he doesn't perform in big games. And I was thinking, where have I heard this before? Bukayo Saka, just because you're used to seeing him perform at a 9 out of 10 week in, week out, he has 2 weeks where he's not at that 9, and they're against big teams. You all of a sudden label him as, he can't perform against big teams. He don't show up. Saka did that, but he's since proved people wrong. I think Palmer will prove people wrong.
I think Saka proved... I mean, Saka's one was so forced because from very early, he was doing it in big games. He obviously can't do it in every big game, but he wasn't as absent in big games. But look, when people are doing... It's the way football has gone, or it probably always has been. When people are doing well, people are waiting to bring them down. And as soon as they have 1 or 2 bad performances, not even bad, like just okay, didn't do much, it's like... he gets double the criticism. So it's too early to be making them claims. Obviously, for him to get, best player in the league shouts and that, you do need to start deciding those sort of London derbies or big games.
But it is just social media overreaction.
Of course.
No one thinks...
I mean, people said he had a knock as well. I don't know about that.
Yeah. People are saying he's not good enough now. Everyone's
that's ridiculous, man. The big games are so different as well in terms of how tactically players are set up and stuff and the roles you're meant to do. You can't just he can't just turn up against Arsenal and roam around the pitch wherever he wants and just be picking the ball up wherever he wants like he does in other games. He probably was told, there's this sort of out possession, you've got to be here and stuff, and that might change how he plays.
For sure. Let's go on to a bit about the ref. The ref in the game, it was Michael Oliver, I think, but he was really frustrating me because He just tried to make the game about him. It looked like he'd pause the game, he'd stop the game. He'd have like a 2-minute chat with each player, and I'm thinking like, what is the point? 2-3 minutes later, he stopped the game again, and he's having another like 2-minute chat.
Yeah.
But there's no need to have a back and forth with a player on the pitch in the middle of a game. Just tell him what's gone wrong or give the foul.
What we should state is we are not Arsenal fans saying the ref lost us that game.
Oh no, we're not.
He is a bad referee.
No, I was just frustrated with the game. Yeah.
But also,
both ways. Like
I think he had like 3 chats with Caicedo, who made 5 fouls and didn't get a card.
I think he just likes talking.
Yeah, I genuinely think he does it. Bring him over, have a chat once, and then deal with it the next time. Don't have another chat. Oh, we'll have another chat here. It was so boring.
As a player, it's one of the most annoying things when the ref keeps doing that, because like,
They're
if
trying to
you're going to book him, if you're going to
yeah.
book him. If you're not, just keep the game going.
Yeah.
Like obviously, if you want to give someone their last warning, fair enough. But he seemed to be giving everyone their last warning, and then it wasn't their last warning anyway. So
the crowd was
it's
singing, Michael Oliver, it's all about.
Yeah. Well, so that shows how far he went with it. Like even the crowd. Yeah. It's not.
I mean, there's no decisions I thought went against us.
Not really, no.
But what's your view on having, like, obviously the English Premier League? There's loads of foreign players in it. We bring the best talent to try and make this the best league. Yet we stick with the English refs.
Yeah.
Why don't we get the foreign refs or from wherever?
Whoever's the best
refs to come into the best league.
Which is funny. Every Champions League game, we never have anything to say about the ref, do we?
It's night and day.
No,
it's night and day.
No, and this has been going on for a long time, a few years now.
But what are they doing so different? I don't really get it.
I don't know.
How can it be such a difference in level?
I think we've seen recently with David Coote calling Jurgen Klopp a selection of names.
Yeah.
That means he has a predisposition to dislike him, right?
Yeah.
So when he's
subconscious or conscious,
Liverpool, subconsciously, if you hate someone, you're going to give preferential treatment to the other team. I'm not saying he always did it, but I'm saying
he's saying he did it.
He literally said he did. If he can do that, that means the other refs probably think the same because they're all from England. They will all have football teams they like. Funnily enough, he's a United fan.
Yeah.
Which
Shock.
does not help his situation at all.
Shouldn't
so
really
they
be
are
reffing
going
in
to
the
have
league.
a bias, aren't they?
So the thing with that is, though, you can never eliminate that. Everyone's got their teams and everyone's going to have their human
but is
bias.
it
At the end of the day,
when it's foreign, because like if I referee,
I mean, if you
I don't have any,
if you now wanted to bring in all foreign refs, like no English refs, then obviously you'd completely eradicate that because
potentially,
because you wouldn't have diehard United fans or diehard Arsenal fans. But the human bias is difficult. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But then it's down to PGMOL or whatever they're called to like.
Dermot Gallagher and Monday Night.
Yeah, it's down to them to.
Don't get me started.
It's down to them to have standards, and I think the biggest problem with why I don't think the refereeing is improving is because in all other parts of football, it's competitive and you're judged on your results. I don't think the refs are judged on their results. If they have a terrible game where they've made however many poor decisions, they just back the next week refereeing anyways, and nothing changes.
All they do
Plus
is back
that,
they don't take any accountability.
If a player has a stinker, he doesn't play the next week. If a manager goes 4 or 5 games without producing, he's lost his job. But if they brought the same sort of,
it's because it's like they decide their own futures. That's what it seems like. It's like we're all together. Why would I sack myself?
There should be a referee's interview at the end of the game when they interview the manager, man of the match, and say, please talk us through this decision. You've got 10 minutes to go and discuss it with your boys and make something up, that's fine. But then say it then and there.
I think that would drive standards up as well. Because if you have to come and defend yourself.
They'd have to say they've made the mistake.
Yeah, you'd have to own up to the mistakes, and you don't want to be doing that every week. But so now you'd be a lot more.
That's the thing as well. If they did, people would be a bit more like, okay, fair play.
Yeah, 100%. Because they do make errors. And that's the problem. Human. That's the problem. People look at them as like they're just arrogant because they make errors and never own up to it and just carry on. Whereas if they had to come up and face it and actually say, look, in the split second of that game, I made the wrong decision. You can't blame them for that.
No, I agree. Completely agree. And David Coote wasn't massively wrong.
No comment on that situation.
I'm allowed to.
He's been suspended, isn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. Is that just forever or just for a certain time?
And then go, oh, don't put this anywhere. What are you doing?
It's so stupid.
Film me, but don't put it anywhere.
It's so stupid. But his friend's a rat, though.
Yeah, but is it his friend?
Because that was an after.
No, but it doesn't. I assume his friend didn't leak it, but he must have obviously sent it to someone who's leaked it.
That was a 3 a.m. afters, and I think some.
Like that video
drinks
can't. That
or
video can't
consume.
leave your. That video can't go anywhere if you've
No.
got it on your phone.
That's mad.
He's looking at the camera.
People
like,
wonder why
"You don't
people
get
wonder
it."
why footballers are so like secluded.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because of stuff like
would
this.
be
Yeah.
just
One wrong
it'd
person
be
and your
mad.
whole career's
I'm
done.
gonna get a
Yeah.
video of each of you saying something like that. And I'll put it in.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would care. Right, let's go on to like more about the title race.
Yeah.
Okay, so Arsenal, obviously the next few games we've got are an easier run, and they're obviously massively important. We're 9 points off, I believe, off of Liverpool,
Rank.
and City are 5 points off of Liverpool.
Is it 4? Oh, okay.
Four or five, yeah.
Yeah. I thought you meant off us.
Arsenal, are we nearly out the race? Because we're not out of it now.
We're not.
having
We
that.
can't afford any more errors, really.
Yeah.
Like we have to go on a run to close the gap. I think Liverpool fans will hate people for saying this, but I think if it was City 9 points ahead of us, I'd say it's done. Like we ain't closing the gap on
I
them
agree.
9 points. I still think Liverpool title favourites. I think anyone that wants to rule them out now, or it'd be between Liverpool or City, we wouldn't be title favourites. Far from that
No way.
currently, and we have to obviously be honest with that.
I don't think City are though.
No, I'm
not
saying
even putting
no.
it-
Again,
Yeah.
I don't think City have looked good at all.
Yeah.
But like, because of what they've done in recent years, like we've not done nothing.
can't
So
rule
if
that,
we're
yeah.
off the pace, there's we can't sit here and say we're still favourites. People can still say, look, they've done this time and time
The
again.
evidence is
They've
there,
the evidence is there, even though they're looking poor right now, and it's probably down to Rodri being missing. There's evidence to show that they're capable of closing that gap.
Do you think they will?
I don't think they will.
No.
I don't think they will.
Because of Rodri or multiple things?
I think it's one because of Rodri, huge difference.
I think
But
it's
also,
clear to see that
when they
that's
got knocked out of the cup by Tottenham, they were all laughing.
yeah.
Guardiola was laughing. Haaland, De Bruyne
That was
were all
mad.
laughing.
Yeah.
There is a point where you must just we've done it all.
Yeah.
We've won it.
The
all.
only
So-
the only
so hard to
scary,
stop it going stale. Like it's
Yeah.
so hard
Yeah.
year after
Yeah.
year.
but this is the kind of fuel they need though.
Yeah, it is.
Because
They want to
this
get
is the
themselves
thing.
up for it.
Yeah.
Like this
They're
is
not up
this
for
is-
it right now. They don't
right
care.
now they don't care, but now that everyone's writing them off, that is all the fuel they need.
Yeah,
You-
it's so true.
like
Yeah.
Michael Jordan used to talk about it. Like he'd just be
Make
like, as soon
scenarios
as
up.
someone says something, like a little comment, that's enough to get himself
Yeah.
firing. And I'm worried from an Arsenal fan perspective that everyone ruling City out. Like, did you see what's his name?
It's so true.
Ruben
We're
Diaz. The
fucked.
other, he said,
We're all fucked.
Ruben Diaz said, "Please doubt us."
Yeah.
Like they're loving it.
Guess what?
That-
I will.
they're
But
gonna-
I'll regret
they're-
it after.
No,
Yeah,
that Michael
so-
Jordan thing, like he people would like say like one little word and he'd just pretend they've said something else
Yeah.
to fuel him.
He'd
And
take
he'd
it-
be like,
he'd take it
he'd
to
be
an
like
extreme,
they've just
yeah.
basically said that, like doubted me, like
Alright,
he's
watch
made up
out,
a
yeah.
false scenario and then he's used that as fuel. City, if they've done that on purpose, like
I wouldn't say they've done it on purpose, but they're
terrible.
now here, and it's like, as much as they were laughing, and I think they definitely got to a point where it's like, right, we've done it all. But that mentality is what's put them in this situation now.
They're going to turn it on in January like they always do.
I think that like now they're not.
going
I
to
don't,
defrost
I don't,
defrost De Bruyne.
I do not think they'd still right now be stale and thinking like we've done it all. I
Yeah.
think now that they've got the fuel in people doubting
Oh, what,
them,
we
that's-
can't
I
come
think
back
that's
from that
enough.
far? Okay, yeah, let's
Well,
see.
they've lost a
I
few,
think
haven't they?
that's enough to fuel them. Now the question will be, are they good enough?
Yeah.
Are they actually good enough with people like Rodri missing? Time will tell.
Uh,
Do you think you mentioned Haaland? Do you think he's looked a bit rattled or not?
I think he's always been rattled. I think that's part of his. Not in like a.
Yeah.
you
I mean, I don't
he's
think he
gonna
is,
lose.
firstly, but-
I think he's always ridiculously emotional. Whether he's taking a piss out of someone, whether he's saying stay humble, whether he's screaming because the other team have scored a goal. I think the word rattled to him is just not winning.
Yeah.
So if he's not winning, he's rattled. I don't think he's rattled because like we're doubting him or anything, and that actually scares me.
Yeah, because people jump, like we mentioned earlier, people jumping on the fact that he's missing chances, but like we said,
Don't do that. He'll score a hat-trick,
he
won't he?
always has.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that is different now, Haaland could maybe be a bit more frustrated with how the whole team's playing.
Of course.
City look like they just have a bit less control. They still produce really good chances. They still don't defend and look open defensively, but in years previous they had more control in the games. Now it's a bit more volatile. I think.
Yeah, 100%.
With Liverpool, okay, do you think they've just, the reason they're top is because they've just had better luck with injuries than Arsenal and City and an easier run?
Yeah, partly injuries, yes. Like factually, they've had an easier run, and I
Yeah.
saw that Liverpool fans were kicking off about this, saying, "Oh, you just find excuses." That is a fact.
Yeah.
They've had an easier run. And I think that is one of the main reasons that I'm not the most worried about them. Great team, worried about them in that sense, but they will drop points in some of their fixtures coming up, which we've played all of them. Do you know what I mean? We've played most of the top 10, half of them away. They haven't done that at all. So they will come unstuck against some of the bigger fixtures. And I'm just waiting for that day.
Yeah, I mean, their next games, they've got Southampton away, City at home, Newcastle away, Everton away. So, I mean, that's
City and Newcastle, two
City and
tough
Newcastle,
games.
they could definitely drop points.
Yep.
How many points out of them? 12. Can you see them getting?
I think they beat Southampton, they beat Everton, they lose to Man City, they draw Newcastle.
City where?
So that's losing 4. So
Where they're playing City?
They're playing City at home.
I think they win.
Yeah, I can see them beating City. You know,
You think City's going to go there and beat Liverpool?
not
This
at
current
the
City.
moment. Not at the
Did I
moment.
say beat or did I
You
say
said
draw?
they'll lose to.
You
to
said
City,
draw to Newcastle, yeah.
and then you said
Maybe I
lose to
meant
City.
draw to
Oh no,
City.
yeah, and lose to Newcastle.
Newcastle is that away as well.
That's away, yeah. City's at home.
Yeah, I can't remember
I think
what I meant.
I think they'll struggle at Newcastle.
I think they get 9 points out of 12.
They
I
could-
think they
I
might,
think they could-
might lose to Newcastle.
I think they could draw to City maybe, but I don't see them losing to City.
You see them. Both see them quite comfortably beating City.
I didn't say. I said
Not
I don't
cut.
think they lose.
Yeah, I at home, yeah. At the
Really?
moment, yeah, they're going like,
It takes a special team to go to Anfield and win, and right now City aren't that special team.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Although they've had an easier run in, they are playing well and they are adapting well during the games. And
Yeah.
like City and Arsenal aren't firing as
No,
they.
that's the main
we're
thing.
used
That,
to
I think that's the
seeing.
main reason they're top. Like last season, they had a similar start like
Yeah.
this, but
They wouldn't be able to drop any
Arsenal
points
were there and City were there, so it was like a real tight. Like up until after Christmas, it was all within 1 point. Whereas this season, they've had a good start. City haven't been firing. Arsenal have dropped points, so it looks massively different. I think the optimism from an Arsenal fan standpoint could be obviously a new manager. The team's quite different to the team that won the league in 2020. It could be they could fall to the same problems we did
last year.
not last year, the year before.
Yeah.
The year before when we ran away with it, and then
It will
start.
come tumbling down.
The pressure gets to you when you drop that first set of points.
I think.
I just don't see him running away with it. I really don't.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to run away with it. I think everyone else is going to fall behind.
I don't think it's a case of them
They're
doing
not
a
gonna go on a
mad
You
crazy.
think Man City and Arsenal will carry on the way they are now?
Not as bad. I think they'll get some stability.
They obviously City just
think-
lost 4 in a row. They're not going to carry on doing
But
that.
think about it, if we lose, like we
But
can't really
we
afford
can't
to lose
exactly.
much.
We have that. It's not like we can
Yeah.
win 2 and then lose. And no, we have to win.
I can still see us getting a couple losses before Christmas.
Exactly.
I know we've got an easy run.
Can't.
Really?
Odegaard back. I think.
Come Christmas, we'll see obviously where everyone would have played each other. We'd see what's happening in the
Yeah.
league. Obviously
Yeah.
the volume of games.
Yeah.
But if I was to predict it now, I'd say Liverpool first in the end of the season, Arsenal second, City third.
Wow. You're giving Liverpool time.
I am at the moment, yeah.
Well done, Liverpool.
Well done.
Done.
Well, who would you say? Yeah.
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously,
yeah.
the optimism
I don't.
says Arsenal, but I really, really do think this Odegaard coming back is like a new signing. I think it will completely change our run of results completely, and I'm quite confident in that. Liverpool, I do see dropping points, and I just don't know about Man City. Come February, are they just going to go on a
I agree. Liverpool will drop
15-game
points,
streak?
but because they're 9 points ahead of us, it's just about can we close that gap.
Yeah.
If we keep dropping points, then we're not going to close that gap. Even if they drop their points.
That's the thing. Like we're saying, they got
if we
harder
were level,
fixtures,
it's different.
but they still need to lose three games, and we still need to not lose any.
But I
They
think
need
when
to
the
lose
gap
3 and we need to win
closes,
3, and
it'll
then
get
for us
in
to be
their
level.
heads like it did with us.
Yes, that's what I said.
City
Yeah.
Newcastle, if they draw them both, they draw one, lose
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
That could be 4 points.
Yeah.
And that's why I said it would be worse if City were 9 points ahead.
Yeah.
Then they're not
Yeah.
going to crumble in that same way.
And it could be a little thing like we get our players sort of Odegaard all back fit, our starting 11 sort of back fit, and then Liverpool get 2 injuries and it's reversed.
Football,
Of
innit?
course,
yeah.
One
Cool.
injury to, I know it's the same with everyone, but injury to Salah, and that is a completely different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. It's definitely not over, but we can't afford many more errors.
No.
It is good though that you can drop points. Like
And still win the league,
Chasers
yeah.
are dropping points now.
Yeah.
We remember when we went on that run last year and only drew to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
That run was
I mean, you
Drew
say
won- oh,
we
lost,
could
sorry,
drop
not
points, but if Liverpool just go on and win,
Then you can't.
then you can't. Yeah,
They won.
you're banking on the fact that they're
Yeah.
not going to. If they
100%.
just keep the run going, then you'd say we lost it now.
I know what you
This-
mean though. Like, the title's still alive now.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's still excited,
Yeah.
and we've both like City and Arsenal have both lost games.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes you lose one game, you think, right, we're out of the title.
Yeah.
And
Basically, if City haven't lost.
I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
saying right now Arsenal, City or Liverpool win. I'm not saying Liverpool won't win. They will 100% drop points, and it'll close the gap, and
Yeah.
it'll be very exciting at some point.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll leave that title race chat there. There's obviously no Premier League games this weekend because
Yeah.
of a really
Dead.
exciting international break.
The worst.
So we'll leave it there, and we'll be back next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. And I'm not sure who Arsenal have got actually, our next game, but we'll be discussing that.
We'll be back.